Let's see about this one.
The setting up your meeting for YouTube Live.
Now you're in the right one.
Well, that's cool. See, yeah, I can't really read stuff on the computer without my glasses.
I don't know if, oh yeah, okay, we are. It was like giving a little countdown. It was giving like a little countdown of, we're starting in 5 minutes, and I'm like, 5 minutes? Huh?
What? What the actual fuck? Okay,
We are live now.
we are live, but is anyone here with us? One person is, and not.
I
It's probably
just
Mary.
I just now got a notification on my computer saying that we're live, so people will probably come in. Hi everyone so far.
Yeah. Hi.
Good
Here we
evening, good
are.
morning, night, wherever you're tuning in from.
Yeah, what he said. Welcome to Survivor Live, Survivor 41. Because yay, Survivor's back. If you just got here from Mars, it's finally on again. I'm letting you know now.
Survivor 41. Good times, good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, good times, good times. So my $1 million mistake. Um
My $1 million mistake. So early on in the game.
it didn't, I don't know if it, well, let's talk about that really quick because there's really not much to say about it later. So while we wait
Mm,
for people to show up, um, my $1 million mistake, I think Shan's $1 million mistake is going to be trying to convince everybody that she's their ally. Like she's just being a little too obvious about it. And when you do that, you try to tell everyone, no, no, I'm totally loyal to you. Then they start seeing that you're full of shit. No one believes you.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely a risk, but I feel like we're not seeing enough from the people, which is really strange, 3 episodes, and we're not seeing enough from the people to really be able to tell if people are knocking her or not. So far, it doesn't look like it. So
I know, but it is early. I'm just
it
saying
is
I'm
early.
forecasting this in
Mhm.
the
That
future,
is a
my crystal
forecast that I will
ball.
keep in the back of my mind.
Okay, because I'm Survivor Psychic, and I'm even changing my Twitter handle to that.
Yeah,
Anyway, so what'd you think of this episode, eh?
I was not too impressed by this episode
Oh.
because it was just it's basically saying, hey, Survivor 41 is all about advantages. Like, it really doesn't matter if you're playing a social game, it's all about advantages and who has them and who got it and who will get it next and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like so one-dimensional. Like, I remember when people were looked at because they didn't fit in with the tribe, or they messed up the challenge, or they blew something up, and now it's just like this person finds an advantage, this person finds five, this person is targeted for having advantages, and this person is targeted for potentially not having them. And it's just,
You're
it's a
damned
bit
if you
too
do, damned
much.
if you don't.
It's a
Well,
bit too
my
much.
bitch with this was just like none of these lame ass people could find those advantages hidden any place. So, like, because at the beginning, Probst was like putting them, hiding them. But then,
Mhm.
unless these are just new ones completely, because it
They
kind of
were,
seemed like, okay, well, so you're
they
saying then
were.
there should still be two more out there.
Probably. It
Yeah.
looked like he just threw them into like the campfire and places where people
Yeah,
would see them,
because
because
they
it's
know
like
that none of those lame asses are gonna find them. That's my
I
point.
think I think what's happening here is that they're like, well, we already threw 14 advantages at you, so let's just throw three more at you. And it really
Right.
doesn't matter where it is. We might as well pull the Rick Devens and put it in your bag. I don't care. Like,
And
find
pull a
it.
JD and put it
I
in.
just
Oh
want to
yeah,
make
right,
sure.
exactly. That
I
one
just
too.
want to
Yeah.
make sure
I
that they
love
have an
Rick
advantage
Devens.
found in the episode. And
Yeah.
this one didn't have just
Right.
one advantage. It had one, two,
Four.
three, four.
No, five if you count Xander's too, right? So like
it's more so
Xander,
about like finding it. Three people found like this
yeah,
weird thing on the like this weird beware boat twist advantage. And
yeah.
then you had Brad who found the idol and yeah. Um was there something else? He found a third thing, but I'm not really
He found the beware advantage at the fire.
mm, I I guess, yeah. I
Gosh,
guess
well, I should just look at my freaking notes. I swear I wrote down absolutely
no,
everything that
I really
happened.
wasn't I really wasn't sure how many were. I just remember Brad finding like 10,000s of them, and it was like
Yeah.
setting itself up to be like Brad is gonna be
Oh,
the ditzy dude
he
that's
did
gonna
find
find
it.
everything.
He found it at the fire. When everyone else, he's all like, I feel like there's a beach party and I'm totally left out. And I was just
Yeah.
like, this guy's a fucking buzzkill. I do not. And I'm telling you, even I was like, okay, boomer. And
We
I'm old. I'm not a boomer though, Gen X, letting you
I
know.
think we're gonna agree to disagree because I thought Brad was a blast. He was so
Really?
fun. He was so
Oh
fun
my
to watch.
God.
I
I
just was
couldn't stand
laughing.
him
I was
at
laughing the whole
all.
way through when I saw him on my screen and he was casting gold. Like,
Oh my God. I felt like he was like he made himself a caricature of like an American redneck. Like he was working the redneck angle so hard. I was kind of puking in my mouth. I don't like that. Bug me. Anyway,
I
good.
thought
I'm glad we disagree on these things because then there's something to talk about. I've learned that
exactly.
like on a podcast when everyone agrees is super boring.
No, I
Anyway,
thought
so
that
let me
Brat
see
was
what else.
I thought that Brat was super fun and
Okay.
like all like while we were having all this like boring advantage stuff, like he kind of made all of these moments like tolerable to get through because he was like poking fun at people and it was like fun moments and you know his reactions were hilarious. Like I don't know, I just really grew to love Brat this episode and it probably came from the episodes back where I was just like Brat's probably a character that's going to be fun to enjoy, but he's not going to last very long. I hate
Right.
that I was right. I really hate that I was right.
I don't know
But
why I found him so offensive, but I did.
you found
Anyway,
him offensive?
I hope he's having fun in Ponderosa. No, not Ponderosa, right? They send him to like a resort. No, Ponderosa. I hope he's
Probably,
having a
yeah.
good
The
time.
pre-jury Ponderosa. Mary is agreeing with you, so it's two versus one.
With you or me?
With
Wait,
you. You both
I
don't
have to
like
put on my
Brad, and I'm
glasses.
like, you both don't like
Okay,
Brad, and I'm like, I
cool.
like Brad. I thought
Yeah,
it
we're
was
tag teaming
fun.
you. Yeah.
No,
Kiki and Kibit's
no.
ambush, man. The chicks, the Gen X chicks are like disagreeing here.
But yeah,
Mary, thanks for coming.
enough
Yeah.
about advantages for now because I just
Yeah, fuck that.
cannot. Ugh,
It's super
I've had
boring.
enough.
Yeah.
But
Can we
more so,
just talk about JD? And can you please help me predict how long I can look at that beautiful creature? Because he is
I
gorgeous.
have
I
been
just don't
thinking
even
about
care
that
what he does.
because like it seemed like the first episode he was set up to be like this big character that was like going to be
Yep.
voted out immediately, but now he's
Right.
survived two votes. He's had a lot of content. He's had a lot of like positive and negative content, and it was just like
Yeah.
I can't really predict it with JD. I feel like he's set to make it a little further in the game, but I'm not sure if he's a character that's gonna run in deep
Yeah.
or if he's someone that's getting like a red herring at it, someone
Yeah. Right.
that you're
Well, what
supposed to
did you
enjoy.
think about his supposed mistake where he put the advantage, he's walking around with the advantage in his shorts and then, people are mad because if they were really allies, he would have told them.
I think that honestly, if you play, you probably should know better to have that in your like
Well,
pants
for
where it can be
sure.
exposed. But at the
Of
same time,
course.
I thought that there was a little bit of an overreaction to him not telling anyone. Because like, why would like it's Survivor and
Yeah, calm the hell down. You're supposed to like, if somebody
You
tells you something like that, you should be like, oh my God, thanks. It's not like a given.
right. So far, everyone's advantage has been used against them one way or another. So
Right. Yeah.
why are you obliged to tell anyone? It's obviously
Absolutely.
really unfortunate he got caught and put in a tough spot. But hypothetically, if he wasn't caught, I think we would have had the same result. What turned
Yeah. I
out
think
because
he
Brad
apologized
became
too
a target.
much. Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
he
He
kind of
was.
had to. He kind of had to because they were pissed at him. So all he can really do is apologize up and down. Um, but yeah,
Would you
Brad,
do that? Because I would be like, you guys, come on.
it's
I would have told you at a moment where I felt comfortable. Like,
yeah, but
I would have put it
if
out
people
there.
keep grilling you in a game that's
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
trust and
Yeah.
socializing, like all you can
Hmm.
really do is apologize up and
Hmm.
down and up and down, you know?
Well, we'll see what happens and if they turn on him or not. I just want him for a few more episodes because he's a tasty little morsel. I'm gonna objectify him and be really sexist.
I
Sorry,
do
everyone.
I do believe that JD's probably gonna last a little longer. Like there are people who are either like who are either like getting negative edits or they're just not present at all. Like especially the blue tribe, like Levu, I think is the name. We see like nothing of them. The only thing that we've really seen was like Nasir being like discussed negatively and Sydney kind of being a bitch a little bit. Like, I don't know. I feel like every time I've seen Sydney on my screen, she was talking shit about Nasir or like, saying, oh, Nasir this, Nasir that, Nasir blah, blah, blah. And then when she
Yeah.
couldn't talk about Nasir, she started talking shit about Tiffany.
Okay, but Nasir pissed me off on this episode really a lot. Because this is honestly what I think. I felt like he is act like microaggressive towards the black guys. That's who he wants
You
all the black
think?
guys. That was that's exactly what I thought. And I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Shut up about
I
my
feel
eye
like we
candy. Mary's like, Brianna needs her eye candy. Yeah, I do. So keep Danny on too. You know I love the guys with the
I
dreads.
feel like we
That's
can
what he
really
wanted. He's
like
threatened by them.
I'm not sure if we can really like if we can really consider like microaggressions because of how little we've seen from them. Like
That's
when I
true.
think of Nasir wanting to target them, I think about
Hmm.
Nasir and the first day where Deshaun and Danny ran off with the water and tried looking for an
Uh-huh.
idol. And I guess that just kind
Yeah.
of my guess is that it just stuck in Nasir's head and he won't let go of it.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
Nasir was then also talking about how he recognizes that Sydney was a double agent, which makes me think that Sydney's on his radar. So I don't really think that it has anything to do with that. I
Well, I
just think
hope you're
that
right.
I just
Because I
think that
liked him.
Nasir I think that Nasir is trying to find people to target for who he has a reason to target, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
And he's not wrong about Sydney. He has reasons that were explained in the first episode why he's targeting the other two. So, um, I mean, I
Well,
think if it
I
was
hope
really
you're right.
something, I think it was if it was really something in that degree,
Yeah,
that the edit probably would have shown a little more.
maybe.
But
I wanted to add one last thing about JD, by the way, just to go back for a second.
go for it.
He kind of irritated me when he was like, Ricard is the smartest guy here after me. He thinks he's the smartest guy there, and that just bothers me when people, even if he's right, which I doubt that he is, that really pissed me off. Yeah. Anyway, I also loved at the end when he was like, "That's why my hair's long because of Ozzy and Malcolm. That's why I'm wearing this necklace." I was all
I
like, I feel emotional.
I got really nervous for JD in that moment because I don't know, when I watch, I'm like really like, what's the edit saying? Is the edit tricking us? Is the edit doing this? Like what's highlighted
Oh
and what
my
are
God,
people
and I
talking about?
never
And
do that. I suspend my disbelief
um
entirely.
I just heard JD like talking about like having his inspirational moment and his backstory and all that, and I was like, that reminds me of something. Vote Shay last week when he was voted out, but
Oh,
didn't happen. I'm kind of glad it didn't. I just think that even though we've seen so much of JD, there's probably still a lot more to see of JD.
I
And
think
I'm
so too.
I'm not saying that that we wouldn't have seen much of Brad. In this case, honestly, for me, it was going to be a lose-lose situation because both of them leaving would have sucked for me. Uh, but
I was
what can
really
you do?
surprised that Brad and Jeannie were allies, and I didn't know that before this episode. Did you?
Jeannie's not getting like
Like,
anything.
she
Like
just
the
appeared and
editors,
she's like, well, that's my ally,
yeah,
Brad. And I'm
the
like,
editors, the
okay.
editors are like, hey, like we're gonna make Jeannie pop up everywhere and she's gonna talk to people, but we're not sharing Jeannie's thoughts with
She's like a
anyone.
genie in a bottle. She's all poof.
And then then when Ricard started arguing with her tribal, I'm like, this was not mentioned a single time during the tribe cam segment.
Yeah,
He just
26
came at
days might be
her.
too fast, you know?
He just came at
20,
her.
yeah, I like him still. Do you?
Um, I feel like I feel like I can't really I can't really how do I say it? I can't really fall in love with Ricard because it's like he's not really like fitting into the story right now in a way that for me he's someone to root for. He's just
Yeah.
like a player on UA that happens to be in a good position. That's Ricard
Um,
right
I
now.
feel like I would hang out with him. Like, I feel like
Maybe.
I would totally end up being friends with him and
I'm
having
sure
him at like
he's fun.
Thanksgiving
Like,
dinner.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
He's really snarky and sarcastic. So he
typical
would fit
gay
in.
man like me.
Bitchy queen. No, you're not
Exactly.
like that though. Well, maybe you are, but just
But
look and so okay. So I'm basically the
Mary's saying that
same.
she thinks Sydney's the
I'm a
first to go on
when
Levu.
once they get to tribal.
Hmm.
See, a double agent, don't you think Shanna's doing that? That's what I feel.
I think Shan's doing it more tactfully. Um,
Okay.
because
So
somehow she's been highlighted as the person that has been in charge of the tribe every time she got an opportunity to. And if you're doing bad at playing a double agent game, typically people are talking about you doing that. And I don't know if people recognize that she is, or maybe it's just being displayed to us that she is, because she seemed to like firmly vote with Ricard both times and JD by default. So I think that she's probably aligned with JD and Ricard. And, I'm not sure if the tribes are going to last, but if they do, Genie's in trouble.
I bet you they're gonna switch up the tribes next episode.
They have to eventually.
Yeah, they have to. It's a short season because of COVID and all
It's a
that.
short season
So,
and they started with
yeah.
18 people and they're
They
down
had to
to,
all quarantine for 2 weeks. So like people just couldn't leave their homes for that long. So
ah,
that's why it's 26 episodes, I found out.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right? And I
Just
think they
secluded in
probably
a
were all
hotel.
alone. Imagine that. Like they're not going to put them with the other players to hang out for 2 weeks. So they're going to be alone for 2 weeks
Yeah, but
somewhere in a hotel
I don't know. I definitely think that they have to swap, but it surprises me that they didn't announce it um
in like the
in the
previews or
preview. But
whatever. Yeah.
it seemed like Sydney was like self-combusting in that preview, and that probably would take over whatever is happening. So
Yeah. Mary says Shan's doing a better job being a double agent.
hmm.
So,
I
yeah.
find it unfortunate though, because it's really difficult to tell like who's actually doing well and who we're being told is doing well and isn't doing well, because like level we don't see anything off. And you know we know that Yaze is the yellow tribe. Yeah, Yaze
Yeah.
is
Yase.
in
No,
Yase.
Yasa.
The women
Yasa.
are
Yeah.
in charge in Yase. um
Is
and
that's the team that Evie's on?
mhm.
Yeah, I
And
like her. She's badass.
Green, like with Ua, I feel like we kind of know that Shan is in charge, but we're not really like we don't really get much from the other people and their thoughts about Shan. We see Shan saying, I'm in a good spot, but we don't see anyone saying, I'm working with Shan because outside of Brad, who showed her his advantages
Yeah.
and got voted out because of it. um, so
Yeah.
I
Right.
do have to
And
say,
maybe if you're like aligned with everybody and they can kind of tell, it's basically like you're aligned with nobody,
mhm.
you know?
I found it interesting that Yase was so like they basically barely existed this episode at this point.
Mhm.
Like you didn't see Xander much, you didn't see Evie at all. I found it
They're coming
interesting.
back though. They're coming back. You
I
know
found
they
it
are.
interesting that they specifically gave Liana like um the the time on that tribe to like recap what
Yeah.
happened and share her thoughts. That's
Yeah.
usually an indicator that that's a character that they want us to follow. And it makes sense because we've seen her every episode so far in some sort of capacity. I just thought it was interesting. And then we saw Tiffany again, obviously, but I
Oh my
thought that
gosh, she's so annoying.
Tiffany was really not doing a great job on that island. Like she was
She's
just
kind of a
like,
bitch. I don't like
let's
her.
I think that she's um I think that there's a reason she's still in the game. Like she's probably a character that's very likely someone that people like, because otherwise she wouldn't still be there. But we're only really shown the negative
Yeah,
aspects, like her being
exactly.
paranoid, her being pushy, her not being good
Right.
at
She's
challenges.
bossy. Like
That too.
bossy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's talk about the challenge since you brought that up because I mean, it was interesting watching people's performance and I just want to preface this discussion by saying there's no way in hell I could ever cross a rope like that. I would
It
make my
made me
team
think
move
of
so fast.
Angelina. It made me think of you could have sat out if you could have, if you had been given a
They would
chance.
have been smart to let me sit out. I would like accidentally twist my ankle or something, man.
I liked the challenge because for once this was actually like close. Like everyone had an equal shot at winning, and it came down to like the last sack that they were throwing up. And I
That
kept
was
sitting there like,
incredible.
who's winning? Who's winning? Oh my God, is Yasi losing again? Are they? And I don't know.
Yeah.
It
See, oh,
surprises me that
JD really lost points with people then. Because he's arrogant as fuck. Like, he is arrogant. He thinks he's the smartest. He thinks he's the best athlete. He could not land one of those things. By the way, neither could I, but I would never go on Survivor
Bratlin did like
ever
all
because
of
of that.
them. Bratlin did like all of them except one, and that one was the reason why he was voted out.
But JD really fucked up. Like, that was my feeling.
He
And
did.
then,
Like he definitely was like clowning around this episode, but it worked out well
yeah.
for him. Probably because of who he is. Like
No,
it
I
seemed
feel
like
like at the end, like near the vote, like they were, someone said something about him not doing well in the challenge as well
mhm.
when they're the tribe. So like I think they noticed and they didn't like that he was so overconfident and then he really didn't
Yeah,
perform, you know?
they kind of have to write a story in which they make you think that somebody else is in danger. But I think that
Are
I don't
you
know.
sure
I
you
feel
didn't
like
go to film school? I mean,
yeah, I
seriously,
am.
you're
I am. um, I
Mary,
think
does
that
this guy really get it or what? I'm like talking to Mary on the chat over here on my other monitor.
I think
Film
that
school,
JD's
secret
I
film
think that
school.
JD is charismatic and that's why he was kept around. Probably similarly to Tiffany, except that we don't see why Tiffany's positively received. Like there has to be a
I do
reason.
not. Yeah.
There has to be
I was
reasons.
amused by watching Deshaun crossing that road. That was very fun. Tiffany, I couldn't believe she made it across the road.
I
She
was just
almost did
watching it
it.
and
That impressed me.
I was like, damn, she's really gonna fuck that up for the tribe again, isn't she?
Right? Did you do you think you could cross that rope?
I have no clue.
I'm just at the ropes. I
Probably
can't get
with
over
in
the
my
rope.
current, I think in my current physical state, maybe not, but maybe if I work out a little more. Like, I don't know. Like, I think Tiffany had her moment here because maybe they wanted us to think she wasn't gonna make it, and then she
Right,
did. So
right. Well, there you have it. And Tribal was kind of interesting by not being that interesting, you know?
it was a little interesting because they showed this whole argument between Ricard and Jeannie, which was like, where was this arguing beforehand? Now Ricard
Yeah,
wants to
right.
be
I
like, oh,
know.
Jeannie, you're such a fucking bitch for voting for me. And
Right.
just
He's
came out
passive
of nowhere. And I
aggressive.
was like, huh? What
And
is
then
going
JD going
on?
through his soliloquy about how all these people were his heroes and not he is who he is because of Survivor. And I just want to say,
Survivorship.
same here. I am who I am because of yes,
Me too. This is
Survivor.
probably why I relate to Nasir so much because I learned English because of
It's so
these
sweet.
games.
That makes me love you even more. Like I just love that for real. And may
When I
I
think
also say, like, Jeff Probst, like last episode looked haggard and worn. He lost his voice. Now he's like back to his old self. He looks all
they
hale.
gave him the good stuff.
Yeah,
They
right.
gave him the
Maybe
good
his
stuff at the
Botox
hotel.
just kicked in. It takes like half a week. Yeah, I'm getting mine done next week. It takes like,
Ooh.
5 days. Yeah, I'm gonna get some fillers too. Anyway.
I can I just point I like I want to point out another thing about the advantages, even though I
Yeah.
said earlier that I really don't want to talk about advantages, but like the fact that it was basically the Be Weird one just was like sneak out of camp and none of these people really snuck out of camp because they all told like multiple people that they found it and they were going. Like Tiffany told the girls, Brad told Shan and Jeannie, I think, and um Sydney told somebody, or she like picked the advantage up in
Or
front of
wasn't
people.
she the one who no, didn't someone go that didn't tell anyone? You didn't
Maybe
look
that
at
was
the game
Sydney.
within a game. That was Sydney, I think. Game within a game. Have you looked at it yet? I mean, it's for
No,
toddlers, but it's
I've
like
not.
the one of the things. So first they have a
I
rebus
tried I
puzzle.
tried to I tried to open it earlier and the
Hmm.
website wouldn't load for me and the website is
Oh,
still not
they're
loading
like,
for
sorry,
me.
no Germans, only US citizens.
Exactly. Don't
Show your
spoil.
passport to open game within a game. Anyway, it's like I said, it's for kids, really. It's like rebus puzzle. Yeah. Aw.
I like Rebus puzzles.
So but they're really easy. And then they have a word search, but they're like a letter scramble puzzle, unscramble the
Okay.
letters. But there's like three letters in them. Like it's
Hmm.
seriously for kids. But at the end of the segment, they have a strategy question. Like, if you were in this situation, what would you do? And then the next episode, that situation is on. So
Hmm.
last week's game within a game, Jeff Probst was like, okay, let's say you had an advantage where you had to sneak out in the middle of the night. Would you tell your teammates and collaborate with them so they could make a distraction and cover for you? Or would you just be stealthy and sneak out?
Hmm.
So that was the
What's the
whole
one for
thing.
next time?
I forgot already because I was kind of stoned. Sorry.
I wish
And it
that
was
I
late.
like had been
I was
able to.
stoned and I took like my sleeping pill.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not like particularly a big fan of how the advantages are being like forced on us this season. They could have perfectly like just set survivors back, given us a season that literally only had immunity idols, and I assure you, every single viewer would have been fine because they're just happy that Survivor's back. All this stupid stuff about like, beware, you have a decision to make, you're gonna get in a boat and you're gonna protect your vote or steal your vote, you're gonna risk a tarp or whatever. Or what was that? You're gonna talk about broccolis and butterflies and dead
Yeah.
relatives. It's just like I don't care for
It's
this, to be
very weird,
honest.
man.
I really don't care for this. And I
I
think
mean,
that
I
a
don't
lot of my
hate it, but I don't like
I think that a lot of my friends who I think that a lot of my friends who I like was like live watching with yesterday
Mhm.
in a Discord server felt like the same way to where they were just like like they were over it. Nobody needs a
Well,
30-minute
when they put
advantage
them
segment.
all in the fire pit, I was very the fuck
Let's
over
throw
that.
let's throw the advantage in, and if they accidentally light it on fire, who cares?
Exactly, I know.
Beware.
So what
Beware,
did you
in
think
order to
about
get
the
the advantage, you're gonna have to put your hand in the fire.
yeah, there you go. Walk through the fire and you can have your advantage.
Scooping who?
Right. It's
What do you want to
true.
ask?
Um, about the whole TARP versus steel vote and about that. I actually wrote it down this time because last time I was like, I don't understand that. But so what do you
I
think
lost
about that?
interest.
You
I
lost
lost
interest,
interest
you
because it's
zoned
just
out.
like, oh, another steal a vote or extra vote or whatever. Let's just throw another five of them in. It caught attention a little bit when Sydney started talking shit about Tiffany because Tiffany was not handling herself very well. But everything about the twist was just like, well, this is only the third time, the fourth time, in fact, because we had a double episode. This is only the fourth time I'm seeing this.
They're gonna do it every
Wow.
episode, I bet you. I
I'm
think this
so
is the new
tired.
thing.
I can't do it
Too bad
anymore.
they can't find audience reaction in real time.
I can't do it anymore. I just want to see
Jeff Probst,
people.
do you hear us?
I want to see people. I want to see strategy. I want to see people bond. I want to see people like interact with each other. I don't want to see someone find the 20th fucking advantage planted in the game that
I
was
want to
just going
see
to
a
serve the
medical
same purpose.
emergency. I like when somebody gets really dehydrated and they have to like take them off by helicopter.
Harsh.
That's my favorite. And then
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
see like somebody gets caught having sex like in the woods
They would
with
never air
someone.
that. They would never air that.
Why?
Because it's a family
Why?
friendly show. They would
That's
never.
not family friendly. What the hell? That's how families are formed. I object.
They're not going to show that to like 14 to 18-year-olds watching this.
Well, fucking don't let your kids watch this show. Okay,
Mary's
well then at
paging
least
Jeff
give me
Probst. I
a
agree.
medical emergency or two, okay?
I'm
And
paging
then
Jeff
something
Probst.
scandalous.
And I'm
What's
also
that?
paging Mike White because Mike White hates advantages. Mike White
Okay.
for executive producer.
I tweeted Jeff Probst twice today. He's never going to answer me, is he?
No, he's not.
Should I
Maybe
take it
different now.
personally? Because I actually tweeted him last year. I'm like, if you were on the Beauty, Brains, and Brawn season, which tribe would you be on? Jeff Probst. Did he
Mhm.
answer? No, he did not.
I think you also need to consider that probably like 100 of people are tweeting at Jeff Probst every day, and
They're not because I checked.
then maybe he just doesn't check Twitter or he doesn't care to interact with people on the internet.
Or maybe it was personal
Yeah, he
against
knows. He
me.
knows Brianna. He
He's
knows
like Santa
Brianna
Cruz.
from
He's like Santa
California.
Claus.
I
He
watched
knows
Kiki and
when you're
Kibitz and I
sleeping.
hated it. I am not going to interact with
Impossible.
Brianna.
Impossible. Well, any last deep feelings about this episode
um,
besides that it pissed you off about with the advantages?
I feel like there's not a whole lot more to talk about because like we half of the episode was advantages. Like what like great. We still haven't seen Heather. Who's Heather? It's a
Yeah,
drag
right.
race code.
Good
Who the
point.
fuck is Heather?
Oh my God, Heather the blonde chick. Yeah, we have no idea what. Maybe
Mhm.
she's gonna suddenly emerge as an amazing player, or
She's
maybe
gonna
they were so
suddenly
bored by
emerge
her
and
they sent her home and didn't even tell us.
now she's there. She's not getting dialogue. Erica is there and just exists and we never see her.
Who?
She's
I can't
another
remember who
woman on
she is.
Levu. Yep. That's how bad
Yeah,
it
I
is
get your
with
point.
Levu. They don't give a shit about this tribe. They're showing
They
Sydney and
better mix
Messina.
them up. They gotta mix them up.
Exactly. They have to. We need certain people to get airtime. It's getting depressing.
Okay, closing thoughts. Just let me look at JD for just at least 2 more weeks. That's it.
Closing thoughts would probably lead into our
Oh, what do you mean? Yeah.
thoughts,
MVP and worst
predictions.
one. but
Mhm.
also MVP and worst person.
Ugh, if Brat wasn't voted out, I would have given MVP to Brat, but Brat was voted out, so I can't do it. Um, who was MVP? Who was
No,
MVP?
I'm like, who?
Do
I
you
don't
do you
know,
have an
man.
impression? Who was
No,
MVP?
I mean, Evie was like barely featured on this episode, but I just feel like she could be my MVP every episode. I just have a feeling. Like, she
I'm
just
gonna
seems awesome.
I'm just gonna go off of the people who were highlighted like strategically and
Hmm.
like it was good content, which has to
Yeah.
be Shan again and
Hmm. Got you on that
Liana on
one.
Yase.
Yeah.
On Blue, I
Yeah.
want to say Sydney, but I also really don't like Sydney from what I've seen.
I think Xander has a shot at Final Four because I think he's well liked. You know, I see
Mhm.
Xander, Evie, and Shan like getting very far. That is my prediction this week. Until
Potentially,
they figure out Shan is playing everyone.
but these people know that Xander has advantages and potentially an idol, so that could get him in trouble. Because Evie spilled and they are gonna find out eventually. This is another thing I
Okay,
don't like about the adventures. Everyone knows.
that's super lame.
Exactly.
Also, the broccoli and butterflies thing. Although I was laughing and thought it was pretty funny, so maybe I didn't
Yeah.
hate it that
Like,
much.
is it really a hidden immunity idol if you have to expose yourself to three other people that you have it?
Or
No.
is it a hidden immunity idol if it's in the fire pit? I mean, that wasn't the hit, you know. Oh well,
No.
the
The
yeah, the
idol,
whole you're
we
the
didn't really
3 part idol
we
thing.
didn't really see where the idol was hidden. The thing in
No,
the
no, no.
fireplace was the thing with the boat, which
Right, sorry, I
I feel
got them
like
mixed up.
I feel like of course the thing with the boat, you're just gonna plant it like in someone's back even because they just want it to be found. Um, did I
Well, I
have
don't
a
know.
did I
Do
have a
yeah.
flop of the episode? I don't want
Hmm.
to say it, but this was actually honestly a pretty bad episode for JD
Yeah, I
because
hear
he got
you.
caught. He
I
had
know.
to snitch on his adventure. He didn't want to tell anyone. He performed poorly in a challenge. He was almost voted out.
I
Not a
got
good
you.
episode for him. Um, I'm
I
gonna go
vote
as
for
far
Brad. No, see, isn't that crazy?
kind of.
He's
I
your
mean,
MVP and
he's
he's
not really
my.
my MVP. I
I just
can't
think
give him
so
MVP because he was
unlikable.
voted
He got
out.
voted off, so you suck.
Um, it's sad, but I think like him finding all these advantages effortlessly was not enough to like make him paint a bad player.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go as far as saying that the people we discussed earlier, like the Heather and the Erica, and
yeah.
the people we
Maybe they're
just
coming
don't
from
see,
behind.
the people we just don't see, we probably either won't see or we're gonna see the episode before they're voted out. And I hate that for
Or
them.
they're gonna come from behind and be awesome.
Maybe. I hope that for
Yeah,
them. I would love
yeah.
that for them. I hate
Oh, you're so
I hate the way
nice.
I hate the way people are being like shafted by the edit. Like give us Jeannie, give us Heather, give us Erica, give us people we do not know. We've seen
Yeah.
enough of certain individuals. We've seen enough of Tiffany like not getting voted out. Like they keep trying
Ricard
to
is like he's gotta do something or like I just can't tell where that's going.
Ricard is like middle of the road, which is why I
Yeah,
struggle, like really,
yeah,
which is why I struggle to decide: am I rooting for Ricard? Am I rooting against Ricard? You know, it's like
yeah,
it's very difficult for me to really get a grip on many people currently,
yeah,
and that's a
yeah.
problem. That's a problem. Um, do I
Okay.
have predictions? No. I feel I find it really hard to predict what's gonna happen moving forward because
I mean, I do too, but I still like to try.
hmm,
I like guessing, but yeah, I suck
I'm
at
going
figuring
off
it
the
out.
edit that Sydney's probably Sydney probably won't be in the next boot, but Sydney probably doesn't make it spectacularly far because
Mary wants her to go.
they like made
Yeah.
it a point to show in the preview that Sydney was having like a meltdown or whatever, and
Yeah.
you really
Not
rarely
good.
give someone that preview if you're not trying to highlight them negatively.
I want to bring up one thing that I forgot that I just
Hmm.
noticed in my notes. When Jeff Probst asks Ricard which would he choose, team strength, like physical strength, or his alliance, which I felt was like a JD kind of question, right? And he
Hmm.
chose his alliance and was like out there with it.
Of
What was your
course.
thoughts about that? That was
Of
is
course.
that the right answer? I
Nobody
mean,
gives a shit about challenge strength anymore unless it's an easy
I know
excuse to vote
why
someone out.
though, but I
Because
mean,
it's the modern age and it doesn't matter anymore. We're all going to be individual eventually.
that's true, but you won't have a chance if your team loses.
The
Losers,
only, like, Yellow did not give it, like, Yase did not give a shit about challenge strength ever. Like,
obviously.
Ua did because they voted out someone who messed the challenge up for them
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
But everyone else like doesn't care. Sydney even said, "Oh yeah, I thought that Nasir was like totally pulling us up on his tribe, and we need him. But no, I don't feel
Now
that
we
way
don't need
anymore."
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone cares
Maybe
about.
Danny will make it far. I
Perhaps
mean,
he had a
excuse
strong
me,
premiere.
Deshaun. Well, Deshaun, I miss who I met. I just get their names both start with D's. So
Mm,
I forgot.
we don't
Yeah.
see them often enough, certainly.
Anyway, well, that's all I have to say about this, mister. Except for I just want to say that, like, it's a good thing there aren't like 100 people watching and you haven't even made your bed. That's how little you care about this podcast.
It's
It's
it's like made, but not really.
I
Like
like to haze people.
my
I haze
blanket is like
Mary all
laid
the
out.
time.
It's just not
Mary's like
my.
smoking weed on the podcast. I'm like, Mary,
I honestly,
Mary,
to be
stop
honest,
smoking weed on the
I I
podcast.
I late there 20 minutes before this podcast, so that's probably why
Oh,
it's
poor baby,
messy.
but it's 2 in the morning. I appreciate you so much
Almost
for doing
three.
this. You look
I'm
so good.
having
I
a
like
good
how
time.
your hair matches your tie-dye sweatshirt.
Thank
It's
you.
hoodie
I'm getting
night
it
of
redone in
Survivor.
2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Because you see this, like it's already like
Your
if I
roots are
pull this back,
showing.
they
I hate
are.
that.
This is
Dude, I
going
feel the
blonde.
struggle is real. I'm going gray.
This is going
Anyway, well,
blonde,
have
and
a
then I
good
have
night. Go to
nothing.
bed. I'm gonna go down to the beach and have drinks with my husband. Spicy, skinny margarita. Here I come.
Love that. Well, I hope you
See you
enjoy your
next week.
evening. Thank you for
Yeah, you
podcasting with
sleep
me
well.
again. And thank you
I
everyone for tuning in. It
look,
was wonderful.
yes, yeah, it was fun. Thanks for commenting, Mary. Maybe sometimes someone else will do that too, but we're just getting
Pat will
started
come
here.
back.
Yeah. Yes, Pat will come back. All right, have a good night and
Good
everybody else too.
night. Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye.